The Mitchells versus the Machines is a new animated film that is currently streaming on Netflix. This film focuses on a very dysfunctional family known as the Mitchells. The main character of this film is Katie Mitchell. She's a person who got accepted into film school. She's really excited to go to film school because not only does she want to pursue her passion of filmmaking, but she feels like she's going to find her people. She has had a very hard time connecting with people in her personal life. So the family decides to take a road trip to drive to film school to drop Katie off. And during the road trip, unexpectedly, a robot apocalypse happens. And now it's up to the Mitchells to save the world. I remember watching the trailer for this movie sometime in 2020. Initially, the movie was called Connected, and it was supposed to come out in theaters, but eventually they changed the title to The Mitchells versus the Machines, and Netflix bought the rights. And now it's streaming on Netflix, as I stated before. I was really excited for this movie because I thought the trailer was promising, and I'm glad I got to see it, even though it's not in theaters, it's only playing on Netflix. So, what did I think of it? Let me just say this right now. The rest of the animated movies have a lot of shoes to fill in because The Mitchells vs. the Machines set the bar very high for the rest of the animated films coming out in 2021. The Mitchells vs. the Machine is a wonderful family film that I think a lot of people are going to resonate with and relate to it in some sort of way. From start to finish, this is a very fast paced film. Not once does a movie ever drag, it's consistently entertaining, and it's such a stylistic movie. Christopher Miller and Phil Lord, they produced this film. Now, if you guys don't know who both of those people are, they are one of the best people working in the animation department today. They've produced and directed several movies, so some examples are Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the Lego movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. If you like or love any of these movies, there's a very good chance you're going to like or love The Mitchells versus the Machines because there's a lot of humor, creativity, and style that are found in this movie from those films. But this is not a ripoff of any of those movies. This definitely is its own thing, and there's a lot of unique things about it that makes it stand out on its own. So, despite the fact that it's really funny and it's entertaining, what makes this movie great is the characters and the messages. So, I'll start with the characters first. Now, as I said before, this film focuses on the Mitchells. They're a very dysfunctional family of four and their dog, but they're all so lovable. They're not once that I feel like those characters were irritating or obnoxious. It very easily could have turned out the way, but the writing, thankfully, doesn't make you feel that way. They're very likable, and all of these characters have something to do. They all have their own arcs, and they all stand out on their own as someone special. They're really likable characters. Katie Mitchell is somebody I think a lot of people are going to relate to. You might have a certain passion about something, and not everyone's going to understand that. And you might find people who understand your passion. I think that happens a lot when you go to college. And I think they're going to be high school students or maybe even younger people who are going to relate to that. And there's this whole dynamic with her and her father. They don't really get along. They don't resent each other, but they're just so different. They don't really understand each other. So as the movie goes on, you see how that arc plays out. It's really heartfelt. I felt very happy watching this movie. This is one of those movies that really lifts up your mood because of the humor and the charm and how much heart it has and the really great characters. The voice acting also helps too. So a lot of people are here. You have Abby Jacobson, you have Maya Rudolph, you have Danny McBride, Olivia Coleman. Danny McBride and Olivia Coleman to me were the standouts. Danny McBride, he plays the father of the family and the father slash husband. And I have to say, he really surprised me with how great of a job he did. I don't think I've ever seen Danny McBride doing this kind of role, at least voice acting anyway. But he really did such a great job. And Olivia Coleman, she plays the villain. She plays this cell phone who is the villain, and it sounds bonkers. I mean, the story is bonkers, but it works, and she just kills it. I mean, I love Olivia Coleman. She's tremendously talented, and she does a really great job in this film as well. This movie has a lot to say about how technology plays a role in our society and the importance of family. Now, in regards to the technology message, I mean, there's a lot of funny scenes and how they portray technology and how much it's consumed our lives. A lot of scenes are intentionally exaggerated, but when you really think about it, there's a lot of truth to those scenes. And they offer some of the best scenes in the movie with how how they showcase how technology really does play a role in our society more so than it should. It plays more of a role than we should allow it to. Is what the movie is trying to say, but it doesn't do it in a condescending way. It does it in a very genius and creative type of way, which I appreciated for sure. And in terms of the family dynamic, yeah, it was really heartfelt. Sure, this movie just plays some familiar beats despite its very original and creative story, but because of how entertaining and funny and charming this movie is, I was able to overlook that. The fact that maybe the third act is a little bit predictable, and yeah, even though it's original, there are some certain scenes that we may have seen before, but it's fine because, like I said before, this film is so good. I was surprised at how good it was, despite the fact that I was excited for it. You know, it made me overlook those really minor nitpicks. So, great animation, a heartfelt story, very, very funny. Best comedy of the year so far, if I'm being honest. And like I said, it has lovable characters. And this is just a movie that I think the family's going to really enjoy. And it's a good thing, right? Because my last review was Invincible Season 1, an animated superhero show that I highly praise, but I emphasize the fact that that show is not for kids, even though it's animated in a superhero show. So the good news is this review, it's an animated film that I'm also highly praising, but kids will love it. I think if you're a parent or if you're an older sibling, definitely show this to either your younger siblings or your children because there's a really good chance they're going to love it. And you might love it too. This is one of those animated films that appeals to everybody. And like I said, those type of animated films are the best. I'm going to give The Mitchells vs. the Machines a 9 out of 10. A fantastic animated film, one of the best movies of 2021 so far, in my opinion. I was really excited for it. It managed to surpass my expectations and how good it was. Definitely see it. Don't miss it. And if you're a film fan in general, watch this movie too, because Katie Mitchell is a huge film buff. She obviously wants to go to film school to pursue that career. So there's a lot of movie references. And I think some film people will be able to relate to her in that sort of way too. So yeah, like I said, this really set the bar high for animated films for the rest of the year. We had Riot and the Last Dragon in March, and I thought that was very good. But if you ask me what's the better movie, I'm going to say this. And good luck to the rest of the animated films of the year. You have huge shoes to fill in. This set the bar really high. It should be a front runner for next year's Oscars, for the best animated feature Oscar. So 9 out of 10 is for The Mitchell versus the Machines. Thank you guys for watching this review. I hope you guys will take it into consideration in regards to checking out this movie or not. The next review will be for the film Without Remorse, the new Michael B. Jordan film, an action film that's on Amazon Prime. I'm going to watch that soon and review it for you guys. And that's pretty much it. So next time I see you will be from my review of Without Remorse. Until then, take care. Have a good one. Bye.